And we now one more and very important presentation by Professor Ajay Dubey, a very esteemed colleague of mine in JNU. He would be online. Ajay, we wish you could be around with us. We were looking forward to it, but certainly we are now ready to listen to you. Professor Ajay Dubey.
Thank you, Professor Muni. Good afternoon to all of you. And congratulations to MERI for organizing this very timely dialogue, uh, especially when the global order is in a major shift. Some of the earlier premises or motivation of BRICS, they themselves are undergoing change. And in the session that we are discussing today about the changing global order and how BRIC partnership can enhance global South's ability to influence the world order. As we heard from many other speakers who were just talking about that how the BRICS had several mandates, changing the global governance system, affecting uh, economic cooperation among them. Also, as Professor Muni pointed out in his initial remarks, also hinting at security and conflict management that the BRICS should address, and several other issues that were raised by the participants. I think, in my opinion, all of them have values and importance over a period of time. But currently, given the situation where in the global order, major countries, especially the West and United States, especially has said America first. Many other countries are also doing first. The norms and rule-based orders are changing. The global South, which was active and took several initiatives during Cold War, has resurfaced after the globalizations, has failed to deliver what it promised. And it is in this context, the new groups of BRICS, and I can find myself to this alone, though there are many other issues. The new group of BRIC countries and the new mandate of BRIC to enhance the capacity of global South to influence the world order, to assert their voice at global level is very important. It's not just the most developed countries or relatively developed countries of the global South who should lead the BRICS. It's the expansion of BRIC and primacy of the agenda of partnership for economic development, besides many other agenda which have problem and which are over a period of time also losing their relevance. That the partnership among global South, relatively developed countries and developing countries or less developed countries is very important, especially when the West and developed countries have abandoned the agenda of including the global South or the North-South dialogue for effective development in global South. And it is from this context that we also find a continent like Africa, which was only represented by South Africa earlier, a country which has more in common with the West than with Africa itself. Was not representing the global South from African continent. And therefore, the two more members who have joined, Egypt and Ethiopia, is a welcome step in that directions. Also, countries like Nigeria, Uganda, and several others are very influential countries within African continent, and they should join when we are moving towards a multipolar world where the global South is going to develop partnership, is going to use the South-South framework as alternative to what was tried during globalizations, and effect that partnership through the BRICS forum. Because we see the other agenda, like even security issues or conflict management, has become very controversial. There had been, differences among BRICS countries on these issues. There had been different perception of different power within the global South itself. We had also seen that country like United States which has predominant position in security issues globally, has taken a very aggressive view on this. We saw the naval exercise that took place in South Africa. Of course, not as a BRIC exercise, but calling BRIC countries to participate, where Professor Srikant Kundapalli pointed out. India did not participate. Brazil was just observer. And finally, Iran, which was invited, had to be uninvited by the president of South Africa under pressure from the United States when the White House issued a statement, when the embassy issued a statement against participation of Iran. So there are certain areas where there is still contestation, controversy. But the kind of approach that India has, Sagar or Mahasagar, where growth and security are linked. One does not have to look for security without growth. And it is in this context that the global South assertion and partnership in negotiating this multipolar world that is emerging and meeting some of the challenges of the countries of the North who are more focusing on themselves and are outright rejecting the established norms and rules of the global order, that they should come and design a order which is much more equitable at global level, and where their voices, their interests are also represented. And from this perspective, I think the India's presidency this year for BRICS is very important. BRIC Plus should grow and should bring more countries in order to enhance its voice, not just those who are relatively more developed, but those whose growth and prosperity may matter to the world and for the emerging new world order. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Dubey, for unraveling, I would say, the dynamics of expansion in BRICS and supporting that we must have a new look BRICS and probably even new leadership. I am not very sure if those who are holding chairs in BRICS all these years are ready for this kind of a very challenging role which you are suggesting. But it's very interesting and thought-provoking that powerless be made powerful in one way or the other, and let us see if this works with the new organization. Thank you very much. That brings us to the end of the panel presentations.